There we go. Hello? No one? Woody? Lotta? Hmm.
To hate the beauty and the praise, beauty, beauty and the praise, beauty, hey, to hate the beauty and the praise. Oh yeah, beauty and the praise, beauty, on side is alles in it. Woo-hoo. It's a cool song, don't thing. Like you, do you remember? Do you remember? Your size. Always in it. Ooh, take the beauty and the praise and good day. Out of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything started to hum. Still, it's a real good bet. Best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, babe, won't it be fun? You think you've seen the sun, you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm up's underway. Wait till our lips have met. Wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come, babe.
Of course. Othello, come here. It's okay. Othello.
I'm gonna teach you to fly. We've only tasted
Othello, come here.
we're gonna dream to come true. Way too times of life for these arms to surround. Should nobody get it to know? You think you've flown the fall, but you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait till you see that sunshine place. Ain't nothing like it here. The best is yet to come. Tell me, won't it be fine? Damn it. The best is yet to come. Come the day you're mine. Go. Wait till your charms are right for these arms to surround. You think you've thrown the fall, but you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait to see that sunshine place. There's nothing like it here. The best is yet to come. Day won't it be fine? The best is yet to come. Come the day you're mine. 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 Of love and sea I'm rolling by under as I look in your eyes. I hold on to your body and feel the truth you made. Your voice is warm and gentle, love that I could not forsake. 'Cause I'm your lady, you are my
You're doing A-okay. Is beauty
whatever you read.
by the sound of my husband of it?
I'll do all that I can, even though there may be times it seems I'm far away. Never walked away again, 'cause I am always by your side. 'Cause I'm your lady, and you are my man. Whenever you reach for me. Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine, and that's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, homemade wine. where the peaches grow. In my house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled with love that's grown in southern ground, and a little bit of chicken pie. Cold beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. I like to see the sun, see the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. It's funny how it's the little things in life that mean the most. Not where you live, what you drive, or the price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on a piece of mind, this I've come to know. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise your glasses for toast to a little bit of chicken fried. And cold beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up. I like to see the sunrise, see the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. I thank God for my life, full stars and stripes, may freedom forever fly. Let it ring, salute the ones who die, the ones that give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like our chicken fries and cold beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. I like to see the sunrise, see the love in my mama's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. It's a little chicken fry.
Ooh, rompers, 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 rompers. Tell me, you know, my friends, have fun today. Whether you're out in the real world.
And then we got a book.
Then you can see logos.
If Disney movies were accurate, I'd have a whole 5-star kitchen full of personal chefs. But they're
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. There is nobody out there. Hi, good morning. Hey guys, it's Marianne here, just kind of hanging out and getting some live time in. Hi Anita, hi Mike, hi Truck, yeah, Mom. How's it going? Hoping you guys are having a great Monday morning because it's not Monday, it's Sunday, isn't it? I can't keep my day straight. I am in Ohio. Where are you guys from? Just wondering. I've been watching the weather everywhere. And have you guys seen, like in Europe, it's flooding? I don't know if you're from over there, if you've seen any of it. I was just watching a YouTube video and then was watching a um, TikTok video here of the talking to myself. Somebody was touring castles and she noticed that there was this field that was supposed to be a soccer field and it was just like a river. It was covered in complete water. So that was kind of crazy. Hello, welcome in. Come hang out with me, talk for a little bit. What's going on in your world? Hi, Suzette. Hi, Nick. Hi, Francis. Hi, Robert. How are you guys doing? Come in, join, hang out. Just talking about a little bit about how in Europe, how it's flooding so bad right now. Rivers that are normally, pretty calm and stuff are just like supposedly like 100-year flooding. We've had that here in America as well. And it's kind of nuts right now. I'm just wondering if you guys have experienced any of that or if you've done any travel lately. What's going on in your world? Hi, Faith, Jose, Daniel Lee. Sorry if I got that wrong. I think when YouTube and gosh, I guess I'm not supposed to be saying that on TikTok, am I? I guess when they have that, I mean, you have different names instead of your real name. You also need to put a phonetic spelling next to people's names as well, so that you can know how to say their names. Where are you guys from? How are you? It is Sunday morning. It's 11 o'clock where I'm at. Where are you guys from? Just kind of hanging out, chilling, looking for some conversation, see how you guys are doing, what's going on. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Guys, this is only my second live ever, so if you will hang out and chat for a little bit and talk and have a conversation with me, I would really appreciate it. My name is Marianne. I am in Ohio, where it is today. The sun is out, but it looks like it's about to start snowing any minute. It's crazy weather. Hey guys, hey Tanya, hey Rajan Thur. Is it Rajan Thur? Hi Joseph, Mintwater, Dakota, Chad, Carlos. Sorry if I'm missing anybody, but hi, how are you? Guys, welcome in. It's only my second live, so I was just looking to have some conversation this morning and see how you guys are doing. I am I'm sure none of you guys really know me, but sorry, still trying to figure out like what to all to do on the screen and stuff. If you guys come on and do lives, definitely appreciate some tips. But um, anyway, a little bit about me. I'm Marianne. I live in Ohio. I am looking to move to probably either Spain or Portugal in the next year. And so I've been working on cleaning out my house, giving things away, selling what I can, doing stuff. Definitely not a political statement at all. I've been talking about it for about 20 years now. And it's kind of like when I got divorced, it was like, either do it and shut up or don't do it and shut up, right? It's like make up your mind and figure out what you're going to do in life and just do it, right? So I'm kind of today working in my office, cleaning up some stuff, getting rid of excess stuff that I don't have. Earlier, one thing about me is I like regular pens, um, calligraphy pens and fountain pens. I have a whole collection. I have probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was going to say 10. So I have like about 9 sitting on my desk, and I just refilled some a little bit ago while I was waiting for some people to come on. And guys, tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from? How are things going? Um, how are you feeling about things in general? I am feeling optimistic right now. And again, I don't talk much about political thing that I do online. So me moving out of the country definitely is not a positive thing. But I messaged a girl on Insta who was showing on TikTok her house in Portugal. And she was, hi guys, welcome in. Thanks for joining me. It's only my second live, so hang out and make me feel loved, make me feel welcome a little bit. But she was showing her house and she was showing like we're redoing all this stuff and whatnot. And so I don't want to rent it out because like I wouldn't expect anyone to live through this. And I messaged her and I said, what if I came and house sat for you? What if I, because she lives here in the States, but she owns her house in Portugal. And I said, what if I house sat for you? What if I came in and supervised the things that are going on while you're out of the country? You know, it's just me and my dog. I have a golden retriever named Othello. And what if I did that? And so it took a couple weeks actually, and I didn't think that she was going to message back. And she actually came back and said, "Hey, uh, you know, your message kind of moved me. I was really taken back by it, and I think that you should move here sooner than later, or whatever." And I'm not sure if that was an option to, like, an offer to come stay in her house. What do you guys think? Um, she was saying that her house is about an hour out of Lisbon, and that I would definitely have to have a car, which is a given. I want to be able to travel and do things and stuff. So that was an interesting kind of turn of events for this morning and kind of got me motivated, got me up out of bed. Was like, hey, let's do this today. Let's figure things out because I own my own business. And so I'm starting a new project within my business where I'm working with businesses that need to value seniors and keep them employed longer and stuff like that. And so I am definitely, motivated to get that moving today. I gave away a whole box full of, I'm talking about downsizing, right? Get to move to Europe. I'm going to have to get rid of everything and just kind of start over. I don't want to have to move a whole container full of stuff and pay taxes on it to import it and stuff like that. Any of you guys ever moved abroad? I've lived over there for 6 months in the UK, but I didn't take anything with it. It was just a vacation trip with my daughter when she was younger. And so, but talking about moving, I'm looking around going, I have to get rid of stuff. Let me guys show you guys, like just even in my office alone. Let's see if it'll. All right, guys, it's only my second live. How do I flip the camera around, right? Enhance, music, boards. I don't know how to flip things around. Guys, help me out. So, where's everybody from? Like, where are you from? The US? Are you from Europe? Or are you from Asia? Where are you from? Don't make me be the only one talking. Like you said, this is only my second live, guys. So, I'm just kind of still getting a feel for being live and figuring out what goes on. Flip camera. So, one of the other things I'm doing today is I'm also in Second Life. I am just checking in to say some hi to some friends on here as well. This is my little avatar here. But then this is my office, and you can see I have a lot of stuff to get through and to go through. And it's this much of a mess because I've been going through stuff and figuring out my important paperwork, which is in that red bag down there. That's all my taxes and stuff like that. And then I've got like, this, I've got all kinds of stuff to sell and get rid of over here on this shelf. Like I've got a silhouette to get rid of and stuff like that. And it's kind of nuts, the stuff that I have to get through. So and this is just my office, guys. It's funny. But and so everyone's like, how long is it going to take? And I'm like, well, it will take as long as it takes because it does take time to go through stuff. So again, I was just on Second Life saying hello to people, figuring out what everybody is up to. Back to me. Anyway, what are you guys up to today? Anybody doing anything fun? I think I'm going to go shopping for Thanksgiving, and then I'm supposed to go to Maryland for work this week. or next Monday, a week from Monday, actually. And I am supposed to fly there on Sunday after Thanksgiving, which will be a lot of fun, right? A lot of other people traveling and a lot of traffic and stuff. So I'm not really looking forward to it. But you got to do what you got to do. I am a social media manager for a company out of Maryland, and um, just they want me there for a marketing meeting. So off I go. What are you guys doing this week? Are you traveling anywhere for Thanksgiving or doing anything? Hi, welcome in. Guys, we went from almost 100 to 3 really fast. So I'm guessing that I'm boring. No one's talking to me. Like I said, this is only my second live ever. So I'm not really sure, what all the rules and regulations are and everything. Hi, Ray. Hi, Cece. Hi, B123J. That doesn't sound right. Hi, Big Ounce. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Just telling everybody this is my second live, so I hope you guys will talk to me, share some things about yourself, and thanks for the likes, guys. I really appreciate it. It's it's funny because everybody always says like, "Oh, I've never gone live. I don't know what to say or do." Yeah, neither do I. I'm just doing it. So it's not that I have anything big and important to share or anything. I was sitting here filling. I have fountain pens. I'm a big geek when it comes to fountain pens. This is my favorite one. This one actually imagine what color this has filled in. Anybody guess what color ink this has in it? I have all these different bottles of ink that I keep. I actually have a box back here. See that I've got to finish putting felt on the lid, but that box, I don't know if you can't see it through me, actually has my ink and my pens. It's got some drawers in it. And so I found that on the local Buy Nothing group. Have you guys ever heard of Buy Nothing? It's a Facebook group that you join, and it is very localized to your area and to your neighborhood. And people give things away for free, which is really, really nice because you can also give things away. And if you guys remember at all, some of you guys might be too young to remember, but back in the day, people used to give stuff away on Craigslist, but then there was also that other group. What was it called? Does anybody remember? It was a group where they gave stuff away, but there was like really strict rules about, giving it to the first person and stuff like that. And the Buy Nothing group is really nice because it's your neighbors and you get to know people in your area, but also you can say like, hey, this is going to be a quick simmer, or this is going to be a flash giveaway or stuff like that. And you can say, what would you do with this item? Or what is your favorite color? Or, how would this help somebody in your community, or different stuff? And then depending on the answers, you can kind of choose, or somebody's sob story. I just gave away a bunch of pots and pans to a woman who had asked. And the nice thing is you can ask for things as well. It's not frowned upon. Some of these places are like, oh no, don't ask for anything. God forbid. Don't put your needs out into the world. And so that's what I like about the Buy Nothing group. If you're on FB, take a look at groups and search for Buy Nothing in your area. And it's worldwide. And so that's really nice as well. This woman was getting divorced. She has 4 kids. And she said, does anybody have any kitchen stuff or any? And I think she had a list of just some basic, stuff for a new apartment. She goes, yeah, I've been married 15 years, that I wasn't expecting to get divorced. And here I am. And so I said, you know what? I'm downsizing because I am moving abroad in the next 12 months. And so sorry if you can hear the fire trucks. I live almost next door to a fire station, which was nice when the power was out. But anyway, she said I had, I lost everything in this divorce and I've got 4 kids. And some of it may have been exaggeration. Some of it may have just been gut truth. I went through a divorce about 10 years ago, and I get it. I left behind a lot of stuff just to get out of that situation. And so I was downsizing some stuff. And because it's Black Friday, I actually ordered a new set of pots and pans, the kind that the handles come off and you can stack them and then you just put the handle on whichever one that you want to use. They were like less than $60 for like this whole set. And I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to be here a year, I still want some nice things to be able to use. But then I also had like all these mismatched frying pans and pots and all this other stuff that I never used. So I gathered all that stuff up and I said, here, I have, a few boxes full of things. My daughter recently got married and she had um, been given some silverware that they didn't really care for. So she passed those on to me. So I have a new set of silverware. So I was able to take the set that I had and put that all in a Ziploc bag and pass that on to her as well. So was able to just kind of, you know, get in a few new things thanks to Black Friday and then be able to pass some things on to somebody that needed that. So and then I have some furniture and all kinds of stuff in my home after I got divorced that people gave me from the Buy Nothing group as well. So if you're ever looking for somebody, some things like that, or you're having a hard time or whatever, check it out. It's definitely a worthwhile group to kind of go into. Hi guys, welcome in. My name is Marianne. I am new to going live, so I definitely appreciate it if you guys stick around a little bit. Ask me any questions that you want to ask, or just hang out. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I think there's like 2 people in here, but I appreciate you guys being in here. Does it tell me who these people are? Hey Larry, how's it going? Larry's a friend of mine. We watch Mark Johnson music together and we are in the Discord live. Hi Larry, how are you? And then who else is in here as well? How does this work? Jim. Hey Jim, how's it going? I don't know Jim yet, but hello, how are you? So it's a little cold here in Ohio, but it's supposed to get up into 50, I think. So that is nice as well. You guys, welcome in. Larry, I know you have some things to say because you're never this quiet, dude. How are you? Good morning, Marian. I have a cold and I'm stuffed up. Oh no. I'm a little stuffy this morning as well. Not as bad though. The last couple of mornings, um, I was talking to a friend of mine who helps me with some of my website stuff in Germany, and he's like, "Have you been crying or are you stuffy?" And I'm like, "Dude," because I was upset about some things with work, and I'm like, "I'm not letting them make me cry. I am stuffy, dude. I am stuffy." So be careful because I know quite a few people have. Uh, Gotten pneumonia lately, which started out in the cold. So take care of yourself and be very careful with that, Larry. Are you just hanging out today because of this cold, or what are you doing today, Larry? You getting out and doing anything? Larry, where did you say you are? You're in Minnesota, right? Hi, Michael. Welcome in. Hi, JR. 9 No plans for today. Yes, Minnesota. Are you guys getting snow up there yet, Larry? I know we had snow a couple days ago this week, but it was just a dusting and it was gone the next morning. Builder Bob. Hi, Bob, the builder. Builder Bob. Do you build anything? What what is it doing there? Hi, Al. Welcome in. How are you? Guys, my name is Marianne. It's my second live ever. The first live I had, it was so funny because we had a tree that was taken out down outside my office window here. I live in a condo, and we were filming that. We were watching that, and it was so funny because everybody was so offended that I was filming this, and they were like, if you want your tree not to go down, then buy your own land and stuff. And I was like, dude, it's my first live. Don't be mean to me. And everybody was defending me. They were like, yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks. Hope your Sunday is going well. It is. I've got to run errands here in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of just start doing some lives and hop on and say hello. And, you know, it's part of me being outside my box and getting used to uh, talking to people. Not that I'm not a proficient talker because I do it all day long. I have a podcast for my business and I have business meetings all day long as well. But just kind of getting on TikTok, I love meeting new people and being able to hang out with guys, with you guys. Guys. That sounded so wrong, didn't it? Al, what are you up to today? Thanks for the like, Al. I appreciate that. But yeah, so it's funny because people are always saying like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. A little snow. We're supposed to get quite a bit of snow later this week. Oh no, yeah, I think I saw that storm was going to be coming through, and I think it was starting. What I know that the west part of the country has had some flooding. One of my friends that I know, she works at a winery in the Napa Valley, and she was showing me like how high their river was by her house and stuff. And so um and then I saw some other TikTok videos where it was just like raging rivers where it was normally the road and stuff. And I also saw Al's getting ready to run errands before football. Who are you watching today, Al? Who's your team? um where roads were just river, and that's happening in Europe a lot too, and it really has me worried because I would love to move to Spain or Portugal or somewhere. It's not a political statement, don't go there. I've been talking about this for 20 years, and I decided that I either do it before I get too old to do it, or I shut up talking about it, because that's just kind of been one of my dreams as well. Thanks for the like, Al. um, so um, I've been watching the different weather all over the place, and it's just crazy how much flooding. In the U.S., we get tornadoes and hurricanes. We don't get hurricanes like that in Europe. So, but they get things like mudslides and flooding and torrential rains and stuff I'm seeing. And it's kind of scary because where I'm at here in Ohio, I'm higher up. And so we don't get stuff like the road being flooded. And I live right by the fire station. So when it snows, um, my road gets cleared really fast because of the fire station. I'm also down the street from the police officers as well. Giants, they're awful. Looking forward to the Ravens Chargers game. That's fair. That's fair. I used to, temps are supposed to get in single digits for Thursday. It's supposed to be 9 inches of snow. Larry, I've been in Minnesota one time, and I think it was like May, and you guys still had like 10 feet of snow. It was crazy. I was like, I thought it would have been cleared out by then, and it was still very much still very, very snowy in May. So you guys can keep that snow. No, thank you. Um, we get very little. I also live down the street from my city hall and also the police station as well. So if power goes out in the area, like we had that hurricane that came up through, was it through Florida and then came up this way? Um, was it Helene? Um, it took out most of my city's power for like 10 days. But because I live next door to the fire station, I think I'm on like a priority grid. And I lost power for about 3 hours, and that was it. So that was nice to learn that because I've lived here 3 years now, and that was the first time we've ever lost power. You live in a state that knows how to handle snow, though. Where do you live, Al? We Yeah, imagine if it's so funny because so I live in Ohio. I grew up in Florida. Georgia. Okay, I grew up in Florida, and we used to get snow like every 7 years or so. I remember one time going over the Dames Point Bridge in Jacksonville to go home from a party, and my fiance at the time was like, I'm going to drive. I'm from Virginia. I'm used to driving in this. And then we slid all the way down the Dames Point Bridge because it was icy. And I was like, well, apparently you don't know how to drive in ice because nobody knows how to drive in ice, right? Ice is the worst thing in the world to drive on. So my bad for letting him drive, but he kind of forced me to. So we got a dent. We slammed into the middle of the bridge and we got a dent in my car, but it wasn't too bad. Hi guys, welcome in. My name is Marianne. It's my second live ever, so I'm hoping some people will hang out and kind of chat with me and whatnot. Larry, I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. I know having a cold this time of the year is just kind of glad you survived. The more tragedy was being with this person, not just surviving that accident. I've been in worse accidents. I was actually in an accident. In My daughter and I went to the United Kingdom for 6 months, and we were in Wales for 4 of those months, and or 3 months, 4 months. I don't remember anymore. But anyway, I think it was 4 months. No, it was 3 months, and we were going over to this part in England, probably Shrewsbury or somewhere, to go buy Christmas presents for family to ship back to the States because we were there for Christmas. And I was going to ask that status. Yeah, I don't know anymore. But we were there for 3 months in Wales. We were going to England to go buy. I think we were decided that we were going to send chocolate back to everybody for Christmas because we were totally in love with the UK's chocolate at that point. And we had the we're going around a curve, and it was twilight, and my eyes were playing tricks on me, and I thought we had been on that road a couple of times. I thought the bridge was farther away, and I thought the road was straighter, and the car in front of me was going obnoxiously slow. And so we went to go past them, and all of a sudden there was a car in front of us that we both slammed on the brakes. We both uh, went off to the side of the road the same direction, and we basically hit head on. So here I am in a country that I'd been to as a tourist several times, but I had never kind of been there. I was house sitting for some people that went to Australia for 6 months. And so I was house sitting for them, driving their vehicle. Luckily, I insured it myself, so everything was covered. And luckily, we survived that one with a head on collision. It is unreal delicious. It absolutely is. And it's addictive when it's that good. We were staying in this cottage in Wales that was right next door to the village. It was like in this village. We were in Pennell, and we were right next door to the store in this village. And it was embarrassing how many times we would go over and get chocolate or chocolate ice cream and stuff like that. And it was almost embarrassing. So they also had the most amazing bread at the store as well. They had this woman in the town. I mean, imagine like old time America where we had, like when things started out west or whatever, and we'd have these little stores and people in the community would bake things or stuff and leave them at the store to sell, right? And we would go over there, and they would have these loaves of bread, and they'd be just like sitting out. And then when you would decide which one you want, you would just like pick it, and the storekeeper would wrap it up in this waxy kind of paper stuff and put it in a bag and send you on your way. And so um, we would go over there every couple of days and get another loaf of bread. My daughter was totally addicted to that bread. Then we would try different things. Like we would go to the store and buy things we've never had, like chips, um, so crisps, right? And she was missing her friends, and I guess she tells me now that it was mean, but I would go run errands or do something, and I would come home and the whole bag of crisps would be gone. And I would tell her, look, I know you're missing your friends, but they're not at the bottom of those crisps. Leave some for me. Like there were several I never got to try because she had eaten them all. And so we started out that trip. We went to London, and then we were there for, I guess we came back after 4 months. We came back a few months early because of the accident that we were in. But we were in London for a week where we did sightseeing stuff because she had never been to Europe with me on any of my business trips, and the one time that I was there for a few weeks, I hadn't even had her yet. And so we were in London doing sightseeing stuff. She was 15 at the time. This was about 10, 11 years ago now. And then we went to Wales and we house sat out there for 3 months. And then we went to Scotland, which was really cool. But we had lunch with a friend of mine who had the flu and got me sick. And so literally we spent the entire 3 weeks in Scotland in bed, sick. Like I called the NHS, the National Health Service, a week before I was due to fly back to the States. And I told them, I said, look, I am so sick. Like I would not let me on a plane. I was grossly sick. And so we were able to get in to see a doctor. And apparently I had bronchitis and was heading into pneumonia and stuff. They put me on back, I don't know, Bactrim or some antibiotic, and was finally well enough to go kind of meander around the town that we were in, go get Starbucks, kind of chill out and stuff before coming back to the States. But we didn't really get to see Scotland because of it. So that was kind of the pits. So in answer to your question, I think what you're asking earlier, Al, is I'm divorced. I've been divorced for 11 years. I'm single. I'm not sure that I ever really want to be in another real relationship, but I am still open to finding love. So who knows? Maybe someday I'll find the right person. But at this point, if the right person's in the United States, they have to be wanting to move to Europe somewhere with me because that is my goal right now. It would have been really cool to see. Did you see the show? Yeah, right, Al? Pneumonia on a flight would be terrible. I have a friend right now who has pneumonia, had knee surgery recently, had a cold, and they put him under, and it led into pneumonia. And he just texted me last night. I'm like, oh, you survived your surgery? He goes, yeah, but I've been dealing with pneumonia for a few weeks. So, yeah, no, thank you. Pneumonia on a flight's terrible. Scotland would be cool. It's all good. Sorry I overshared. It's all good. Um, the I'm not even sure what you're asking at this point. Um, about that time to Europe. We had such a good time though. I would definitely like to do it again, but like I said, long term. The I'm looking at I have 4 countries that I am considering. And the top 4, not in this order, are Italy, Greece, Italy, Belize was one of them, Larry. I don't know if you saw me talking about that. Tuber was teasing me about that. So the 4 countries in Europe were Belize, Italy, Spain, and Portugal. Spain and Portugal mostly because 2 reasons. The digital nomad visa to be able to go over there is a lot easier to obtain. Italy is putting a hold on some of their visas right now. I think Canada is doing that as well. They're putting a hold on some of the stuff. And I think it's just because everybody's trying to leave the US and go somewhere. Larry, I mean, Al, have you been to Belize? Um, to go somewhere. And so I think Canada's like, oh crap, we have to figure out like how we're going to handle and how many people we're going to let in at one time because it is literally just across the border, right? And then so Canada's putting a hold on that. Spain and Portugal have been relatively like poor countries, and so they're trying to get people to come in and to fund their economy and stuff, right? They've got a lot of villages that are kind of empty and boorish and stuff, but they want people to come in and start spending some tax money and stuff there as well. Oh, nice, Al. Did you like it? So Belize, but a friend of mine and I were wanting to visit there sometime. Yeah, absolutely. So Belize was my number one pick for. Do they, Al? I hadn't heard that. I saw in a video where the person was talking about it, and everybody was like, "Dude, you just need to retire." So I'm not very up on Canadian political stuff or anything like that. I don't even want to be, knowledgeable about political stuff here in the U.S., but it was forced upon us. We all have to know about it right now. So, um, Belize was my number one pick for years. I have been talking about retiring or going to Belize. I tried to convince my parents to retire for Belize. Funny story about that was my mom went on a cruise. The ship was not ready. San Pedro Island, Belize City was a bit rough. Yeah, I've heard that about Belize City. That you fly into there, you get off a cruise ship on there, and then you go other places because it's a lot higher crime rate and stuff like that as well. I have a couple friends in Belize right now who have been sharing some stories with me, and I know they just got hit by a hurricane. They had quite a bit of flooding as well. But it was so funny because like for years I was talking about that. And so I was having a conversation with my mom about Belize. And like I said, she had gone on this cruise ship. The boat wasn't ready. It was their maiden voyage. They weren't quite 100% ready, but they decided to launch this cruise anyway. And my mom was a little dissatisfied, let's say, with some of the accommodations and things that happened. And I'm really good at writing. And my mom was like, "Would you please write a letter for me to send to the travel agent?" And she said she would pass it on to the cruise line. And I was like, "Okay." And so I wrote her a letter. She gave it to her. The woman sent it in, and they sent my mom 2 tickets for a free cruise. Okay, job done. So my mom gets this, and I was talking to her about Belize, and I was telling her, I was like, "Look, some of the benefits of retiring in Belize are really good." Um, I don't know if they're still doing as much of it, but at the time, they were allowing people to import their car, their belongings, like one time tax free. You could bring those in for tax free. You could work online or have retirement and not have to pay taxes there. You would still probably have to pay them in the US, because what I'm learning is that no matter where you live, if you're still a US citizen, you still have to pay US taxes, even if you have residency in another country, right? And so, anyway, but they had all these benefits that they were offering for US people that, or other people anywhere that want to come retire in Belize. So I was telling my mom about this. 2 days later, she gets a flyer about a trip that included Belize from the cruise line. And so she goes, "Marianne was just telling me about Belize. We're going to go take this trip and go to Belize." And I said, "Cool, Mom. That would be a good mother-daughter trip." Like my mom, so I have two older brothers. One is 6 years older than me. One is 8 years older than me. My brother, that's 8 years older than me, passed away about 15 years ago. And so, but at the time I was like, "Hey, I'm the only girl. This would be a good mother-daughter trip, right? I got you these tickets for free." "No, no, no. I have to take your dad." Really? Really? I was so angry with her for so long about this. So all these years later, she's like, "That would have been a really good mother-daughter trip." "Oh, you don't say, Mom. You don't say." So I didn't get to go to Belize. So anyway, yeah, I've been talking about going. One of my locations was Belize, and I was seriously looking at it. I'm in Facebook groups with TikTok. Don't kill me for saying that. I'm in some groups for expats there, um, in Italy, Portugal as well, and then uh, they. My one friend has coitus, coitas, um, as pets. Like what? But anyway, she was, telling me some stuff about those animals, and then she was saying like, all our clothes are basically rags and whatnot because you just wear whatever you have and you don't worry about how you look and stuff because the roads are so bumpy and dirty and dusty and your house just gets all dusty and stuff like that. And so, no, not koalas. Those are Tbilisi. C, is it C? Coitas? Hold on. I'll tell you. COI. I don't think that's the right spelling. No. COITUS is not the right spelling. That is not. COATIAS. That's almost no, not Croatia. I don't know. I don't know. Friend me. I'll send you. I'll send you a message when I figure it out. But it's CAI something or whatever. But anyway, they're supposedly not native to Belize. I think they were like native in California or something like that. She brought them from California, and Belize is waiting for you. No, it's not. I don't think it is. I think it's third world for me. I like paved roads. She was telling me about how all the roads are just like dirt roads and bumpy rides and stuff like that. Not all of them, but quite a few. And I think it's just a little third world right now. I mean, I work online, so I have to make sure that wherever I go and whatever I do, that I have a really strong internet. I do want a really strong expat community around so that um, I couldn't handle the dusty because of my eye issues. That's probably true, Larry. Yeah. Yeah. You'd be going through like a bottle of eye drops once a day. You can visit, not stay. So, yeah. But my thing with that is kind of like I want to do enough research ahead of time and then just make a decision and go because even taking a trip there is like, think about it. It'd be $5,000-6,000 by the time you fly there and you pay for a hotel and you visit all the spots and stuff. And I get that. Al, isn't that Placentia? Isn't that on the water? Isn't that like on the south end of it on the water down there? Um, and I'm really kind of torn on that because it would put me close enough to the U.S. Yeah, I thought so. U.S. Like if I need to fly, my parents are in Florida, so if I need to fly back to, funerals or something happens with one of my parents or something. But then also the other thing that I worry about is what is it going to look like this hurricane just hit and a lot of flooding happened and stuff. And suddenly, with all this flooding that's going on all over the world and stuff right now, it kind of has me freaked out a little bit. You know, what happens if I move somewhere and someone doesn't tell me, hey, this area floods? And they're now like living in this place that's getting flooded every other month because a storm blows through or something. And that worries me with Belize being where it's at as well. And it was so funny because everyone's like, oh, we hardly ever get hit by storms. And then like a month later, that hurricane goes flying through there. So I don't know. The research is key. Yeah, it's, like in Spain, I was looking at different areas and I know like Valencia just flooded. I think Seville had some flooding as well and stuff. So the really cool thing is, well, yeah, it's on the Gulf of Mexico. Of course it does. Anyone who tells me like, oh, and they were saying like the flooding's not bad, you just have to stay away from like the river and stuff. And I'm like, well, there's this big thing, it's called the Gulf of Mexico right there. I'm not sure I believe you type stuff. So I don't know. Um, but in Spain, like some of it hit on the west side and the east side of Spain. So I don't think anywhere there is safe either. And then everyone's like, well, just move up into the mountainy areas. Well, I have an SI joint that acts up, and sometimes it causes me to really have a hard time walking. And so the last thing I want to be is in a really mountainy, hilly area that is going to keep me from being out doing things and getting around and stuff. So I'm looking at some of the like places more towards the coast are less mountainy and stuff like that. But at least in Europe, we're not getting those hurricanes and stuff like that as well. So that's what's leaning me towards like being over in Europe, plus the ability to be able to travel, hop on a train or a cheap air flight and go to the other countries and stuff. I've so far I've been to Italy, France, um, most of the UK. Like I said, I need to go back to Scotland and actually do Scotland because that was being sick was not on my bingo card for that one. Um, and then I need to still go to Italy. I mean, not Italy, but Ireland as well. And then I watch. Have you watched videos of some people that live in France though, Al? It's I don't know. I think for me it seems like France. My daughter took French in high school and she's like it's not hard to learn and I'm not believing her. I think French would be really hard to learn. I know all their neighborhoods. Yeah. See, Larry, that was like me. I took Spanish as my language in high school, and it is a mix. It's when I was in France, Larry, keep in mind that I was 15 years old when I went to France. And so um, my view and idea of France is kind of through hi Weezer, welcome. It's kind of through rose tinted glasses when it comes to that. And A, it was a long time ago. And B, it was I remember people being incredibly rude to us, is what I remember from from France. And I'm not sure how the um, outlook on Americans is right now in that direction either. So I don't know. It's not on my top 5 places to move to. And I have friends that are in Germany that says like I would move to France in a heartbeat. And I don't know. So one of my ideas was this time around when I was there with my daughter, the underground railroad is the underground railroad. That's not right. The train tube that goes underground between England and France. They were to us, but I mean, at the Larry, at the time we were, like I said, we were 15-year-olds that our tour guide had taken us out partying that night. We'd gone to this club. We left this club. We were all kind of tipsy and drunk. I remember walking up to this guy sleeping on the street, asking him if he was dead. I was stupid. Um, I was 15 years old. I was really stupid, over sensical. I went to Europe, didn't take my glasses with me at the time, and only wore contacts, which dried out on the plane. And so, luckily, my roommate wore glasses that were almost the same prescription as mine. And so, imagine being at the Vatican, looking up, seeing the Sistine Chapel, looking up and seeing something Michelangelo himself. Yes, the Channel Tunnel. Looking up the Michelangelo painted, right? And not being able to see it and having to ask my roommate, like, hey, can I borrow your glasses? Like, who does that? Stupid 15-year-olds do that. That's who does that. Channel. Yeah. And so anyway, that the channel was done when we were there this last time. And I didn't know about it. So it proved to me, I was like, apparently I've been very short sighted in my research and I must do more. And because if I had known about it, I would have, we definitely would have gone to Paris for Christmas. Trying to think, I think we were still in Wales at, we were not in Wales at Christmas. We were in Scotland for Christmas and New Year's. And then we went probably the beginning of middle of December is when we went to Scotland. And but had I known Thanksgiving, I think it was Thanksgiving, we were thinking about going to Thanksgiving, we were thinking about going to Paris. And had I known about the being able to go on the channel at that point, I probably would have gone instead of, because I was kind of worried like, oh, we'd have to um, park at the airport and have to rent a car on that end, or take public transport, which wasn't opposed to. We were doing that quite a bit while we were there, but I didn't know about it at the time, or else I would have put our car on there and gone to Paris for a weekend at least, and let Victoria, my daughter, go with us, or go with me, and take her to France. But I didn't know about it. But I have thought about renting a place in the town where the channel lands there, so that the one point where you get off in France. I've thought about renting a car, renting a home there, and being able to take the train back and forth to London, which I thought would be really cool. But then the UK people had to go screw that up, and Brexit. And so I've heard that because of Brexit, that a um, it's not a really good option to do that as well. The economy is kind of tanked and it's been awful and stuff. I've heard the economy could possibly tank depending on what the US does over the next 4 years as well. So it's just it's all up in the air. But I think if I was in Portugal or Spain, then at least I'd be able to hop on a flight and go to London for a weekend or whatnot, and not feel like it's this major big deal. Um, so that's why I'm leaning more towards Europe than towards Belize, because Belize I can go travel around, Mexico and stuff. But then you also have to be really careful of, um, you know, the same things anywhere though. Larry, I think you're being a little biased, sweetie. But yeah, I think that it's yeah, I just think that I have more interest in Europe than I do in Mexico and some of those areas as well. But the other thing to consider also is healthcare. Like when you first go over there, before you can apply for residency, you have to be on, like a digital nomad visa or a retirement visa or whatever you qualify for, or a self-employed visa, stuff like that. And then you also have to have your own health insurance that you bring with you for international travel as well, because a lot of times you can't apply for healthcare there through the system until you've been there and you apply for residency and you fulfill those criteria for that as well. So it's a lot of research and a lot of learning, like Al says, like research and learning for that, and figuring out what is going to be a good fit. I think if you get a visa for any of the countries that are in is it, how do you pronounce it? Shawgan area or whatever. That it switch SCHWEGAN, is that how it's spelled? Um, that you could travel around those areas, and then if you leave that area or whatever, and then there, how many days and stuff. There's just like so yes, Shenzhen. Um, and then you have to figure out like how long you have to be in the area, and if you have to leave, and if your visa allows you to stay in for ever, stuff like that. My grandfather, so back in 1814 is the last time I've had a relative. My family, my dad, my mom's father's side was from Italy. My mom's mom was from Germany side. But the last time I've had a relative born in Germany was 1814. And then they moved to Ohio from there. And then I was born in Ohio. And all of my relatives on that side were all born in Ohio and kind of like lived and died in Ohio, which was fascinating. My mom's friend did my mom's did you Google that? Thanks. Is it Shenzhen? But my mom's it's crazy how far back, like 18 sometime after 1814 is when that great 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 grandfather moved to Ohio and died here. And like I said, I was born in Ohio and I didn't realize how far back our roots actually went here. And I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. But I don't think and I heard somebody say, like, if you can find your great 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 grandfather's or grandparents' records, that, thank you. Um, appreciate that, Al. That if you can find those records, that you could possibly move like on ancestry stuff, but you've got to be able to find the records. So I joined a German equivalent to ancestry.com and was trying to find that last name, and nothing was coming up. So I don't know if I was, looking at it wrong or something. I'll try again in a day. I've got like a 7-day free trial. I'll try again and see if I can find those records. I can find them on ancestry.com, but I don't think that it actually shows like the birth certificate and stuff. So, that's worth a shot, because if you can prove that you have ancestry in Europe, it doesn't have to be in that specific country that you want to go. If you can prove that you have it in Europe, it's easier to get a visa or residency to go. So, and people are like, why aren't you going now? Well, first of all, I can't afford to right now. It takes money to move and find a place and buy a new vehicle or rent a new vehicle over there and get settled and stuff like that. So I definitely want to find a place that is already furnished, so I don't have to go buy furniture and all that stuff, at least to start out with. And then I have to have, a visa that will allow me to work here in the US online. And then also I have to be able to have, a plane ticket. And then I have to be able also to, hold on, puzzle piece. Okay. I also have to make sure that my dog gets to the vet and I don't think his chip is the right one that they require as well. So he'll have to get re-chipped, and he'll have to get a certificate saying that he's in good health to go and stuff like that as well. So there's all kinds of pieces to that puzzle to make all that happen. And then he's never been on a plane. Like, I don't know how that will work. He's 7 or 8 years old. Very attached to me, very loving, kind dog. He's best boyfriend I've ever had. I'm surprised he's not in here because I'm talking about him. But so yeah, so I've got to figure out a lot to make all that happen, right? So, and the flooding right now is not helping this decision. Every time I think like, oh, I want to move to Germany, or oh, I was thinking like, not Germany. I don't want to move to Germany. Don't put that out in the world. I was dating somebody long distance who was in Germany for a while, and I was like, I just don't know if I can even get the language. But I want to be able to travel there and visit there, though. But I was looking at Italy, and then they had flooding. I was looking at Greece. Greece's digital nomad visa is pretty cool. They had fires and stuff. There's a lot going on in the world. Yeah, I love my dog. He's amazing. So I just don't know. I know Portugal. I've been to Portugal twice. I worked for a while for a Portuguese shoe company. was their marketing director for the US and Canada. And so they would bring me over there for marketing meetings and stuff. And so I would get to go do their. Al, have you been to Portugal? Larry, you're right, though. They can be kind of snotty. I don't know if that attitude has changed over the years or not. Like I said, I was 15. I remember some guys on the street when we were walking around after leaving that club, and I remember them being like, stupid Americans. And I was like, dude, I am 15 years old. I'm supposed to be stupid right now. So, um, I will tell you, Al, we were talking about chocolate in Europe, and you wouldn't think it, but if you like chocolate mousse, Portugal is your place to go. Italy, Germany, and the Netherlands. Okay. So the Netherlands is on my list to go to. Like I said, I want to go to Germany. I don't think I want to live there. Um, I was joking around with my friend. I'm like, can I just marry you and live here so I can have, um, um, you know, residency and I can travel around and do whatever I want to do. Um, but chocolate mousse in Portugal is the bomb. The bomb, let me tell you. So I worked for this shoe company, and the manager or the owner of the company lived up on this mountain hill. It overlooked the okay, if somebody just said something, reword it because it was filtered. Um, but he lived up on this mountain hill, whatever, and it overlooked, and you could see like this castle, like in the distance from him and stuff. It was really cool. And right across the street from him was a really, really fancy restaurant. And we all went to this restaurant for dinner the first night that we were there. He had kind of an open house thing um, for us that were there for the meeting. So there was probably, and I think he invited some of his friends and stuff. So there was probably like 30 people at this welcome party, and they were serving port and stuff like that. And it was really nice. And his house was lovely. He was a creep, but his house was lovely. And right across the street, he's like, well, let's walk to dinner. And I'm like, wait, what? And right across the street was this really fancy, expensive restaurant that we had taken up, half the restaurant with us. And they were come dessert. Everybody said, order the chocolate mousse. And I'm like, really? And they're like, trust us. And so I took 2 bites and just like melted. It was so yummy. And then I spent the rest of the trip when I'd go sightseeing or have meals out or whatever, ordering chocolate mousse to see like who had the better mousse. And over there, it was just, it was so rich. You would take like 2 bites and then you would pass it on, and the next person would take 2 bites and pass it on because it was so rich. It really was. It really was. And funny story there was my friend in London, Peter, he took me sightseeing and borrowed the owner's nephew's car, which was a stick shift. And we were in a parking garage, and he kept stalling it. And we're trying to leave this parking garage, right? And he kept stalling the car. And I'm like, dude, his car, and I'd been in his car in London. It was an automatic. And I was like, you have to let me drive because you're going to get us killed because we're just stopping in random places and we're going to die. And so he was like, but do you know how to drive a stick shift? I'm like, I grew up driving a stick shift. That's what I learned on. And so we swapped places, and the speed limit there, if they have one, I don't remember, was incredibly high. It's kind of like being on the Autobahn in Germany, right? We're on the highway going from place to place, and I'm keeping up with traffic, which is going probably like 120, 130 miles an hour. And Peter's freaking out. He's like, you've got to slow down. You've got to slow down. And I'm like, no. But his argument with me driving was, you can't you don't speak Portuguese. You can't read the signs. And I'm like, we have less chance dying from me not knowing how to read the signs that you can translate for me and tell me where to go than someone slamming into us because you keep stalling the car. Like, I was genuinely scared. And so we got back, and he told um, Norbert's nephew, I forget his name, he was like, I let Marianne drive. And his eyes got like this big. And he was like, no, no, actually, she's better than I am. She was really good. And I'm like, of course I am. I'm race car Marianne. Um, because I do like to drive fast and take chances and all that good stuff. But yeah, we were going to die if he continued driving. And I'm like, please don't ever drive a stick shift again, or do and be in a quieter place and get used to it. Yeah, I hear you. So that was that story from that. I just really felt that we were going to die if he continued on that path of driving. So, and it had been a little while since I'd driven a stick shift, so it just took me a couple minutes and then we were off. But I've driven one since recently too, and it was a lot of fun. I like driving sticks. You definitely get complacent driving, I think, when you're driving automatics. And that's most of us these days, right? But I would love to have a sports car again that was a stick. My last stick that I had, I think, was I had a Toyota Supra. That was a stick. That was a lot of fun. It was my downfall though because it had a sunroof in it, and a friend of mine had passed away, and there was two parts to his funeral. Like the first was just kind of a viewing whatever, and then after that same evening they were having, yeah, they are becoming extinct. Um, I don't think in Europe though. I think they're still kind of the go-to over there because of diesel and stuff like that or whatever. Speaking of diesel, the 64, the when I was in Wales, the little car that the owner loaned us was would get like 64 miles to the gallon on diesel. I thought that was crazy. Here's a mess. But anyway, they so a lot better gas mileage, but gas is so expensive there that it has to. Yeah, seriously, it was a Renault. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, my friend died, and they had the viewing was like that afternoon after work. So that because a lot of us worked with him, and I knew him before I worked with him, and his wife, whatever, had the viewing. And I came home after that. There was a couple hours in between there. I said, I'm going to go home, change clothes, take a shower, whatever. It was raining. I laid down on my bed, closed my eyes just for a few minutes. Next thing I know, it was 7 in the morning. I had left my son. Thanks, Al. I had left my Hey Soul number 22. Good to see you. Um, I had left the sunroof in my car open, and I came out. Literally, my car was flooded. It was completely soaked. This much rain in the bottom of it. And I had used up all my personal and vacation time for work. And my boss hated me. And so I worked on a government contract for the Marine Corps in Jacksonville, Florida at the time. And so I still had to go to work. And I'm driving down the road, this much water in the bottom of my car, at least that much. It could have been more. And I worked probably about 30 minutes from where I lived. And so I'm driving down the road with a pond of water in my car. And then, thanks, Al. I appreciate that. No one's ever given me a gift before, so that's cool. Um, that much water in my car, and I've got trash bags over my seat that I'm sitting on so that I'm not sitting on wet seats and whatever just to get to work. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And I remember I got to work, and does anybody remember 7-Elevens? Does anyone still have them around? They were you'd have those big gulp cups, and I'm literally like scraping water. I'd go out on break and just literally sit there and scrape this water out of the carpet of my car, just getting it out. And then at lunch, I went up to 7-Eleven and used their wet dry vac to suck out most of the water. And then I had to have, yeah, not very, not in my area though. We don't have any 7-Elevens here in Ohio. I've seen, I think like further south, like Texas and some North Carolina and some areas like that and stuff. And apparently in Georgia, according to Al, right? Um, but like I was using like the wet dry vac at lunch, sucking the water out, and then I had to have damp rid in my car for months after that, getting all the humidity and the moisture out and stuff. It was really insane. Hey, Sammy. Yeah, Chicago. I remember seeing some in Chicago the last time I was there as well. Chicago actually is one of my favorite cities here in the U.S. Um, not in Minnesota either. That's fair. Hey, you know what, Larry? In Minnesota, if you go to McDonald's, can you get sweet tea? I was visiting my friend that time when the snow was still really high in May, and I went through McDonald. Well, he took me through McDonald's drive-through, and I ordered a sweet tea. This is 15 years ago or so. Um, we went through and asked for sweet tea, and they looked at me like I just slapped them or something. They had no clue what I was talking about. And so I think other McDonald's in the South definitely had sweet iced tea long before the McDonald's did there in Minnesota. Are they still a dollar? Because here, the McDonald's, so I don't go to McDonald's anymore. And I would go up and get like sweet tea or a Coke for a dollar. And then they stopped. So the McDonald's in my area now went from it being a dollar, and then they raised it to $1.30, and now I think it's like $1.75 for a large. And I'm like, for that kind of money, I'll just order Coke and have a 12-pack sitting in my garage for the occasional drink that I want to have with Coke. So they're not a dollar anymore here. But 15 years ago, you guys didn't have sweet tea, or at least the one we went through in. So my friend lives in Texas now. Well, he's not a friend anymore, but he lived in Lakewood area. Is it Lakewood? Lakeville? I think it was Lakeville, Minnesota. And we were up in the big city that day is where we went through the McDonald's. And they just looked at me like I was crazy. And he's like, yeah, we don't have sweet tea up here. So I know that's definitely a Southern thing. But it's also really, really sweet. I also had to stop getting it 100%. I'd get like half sweet, half unsweet because it was so sweet. It's too much sugar. Yeah, I think they have some in North Carolina too. Um, that's fair, Larry. Yeah. Um, they I discovered like how much um sugar that I was drinking. It was like I was frustrated because I was working really hard on losing weight and I wasn't losing anything. And I was like, what in the world? And and I was having like meet and greets with customers and stuff like that. And um, and we'd meet at Starbucks and stuff like that. And then I started researching. It just wasn't correlating. Like it wasn't clicking in my brain how much sugar a chai tea latte had in it, or stuff like that. And so I had to cut back. Like if I had 3 meetings there in a day, it was like I might have something that had caffeine in it that morning. And then the other times I'd just buy a bottle of water because it was like that was way too much sugar that I was consuming. And so even like if I drink soda and whatever, I drink maybe, one Coke a day or like a 12-ounce can, or one every 3 or 4 days or so. I go through periods where I don't drink anything but water for several days. Um, yeah, I was in North Carolina in July, I think it was June. I think it was June. And I remember seeing 7-Elevens as I was traveling around there as well. But yeah, nothing's like falling asleep and then sleeping all night long and having your car flood with a sunroof. And so I made the mistake. I was married to my ex-husband now. I was married to him for 20 years. And I made the mistake, when you first meet somebody and you're getting to know them and stuff. And I'm gonna see if I can plug my phone in. I wish they'd put chargers like on the side. Um, hello. Oh. Um, you're getting to know somebody and you tell them all your dark, deep secrets. Well, apparently my secret that doesn't work. Let's see if I can do this. Nope. I will hold my phone. Um, when you're telling your dark, deep secrets to somebody. Well, my secret was I had 3 secrets that I should have never told him. Are they what event are they having, Larry? The but the one secret was um, that I left my sunroof open and my car flooded. Another secret was that, and I didn't really tell this one, but it was given away. Like I was working 12-hour shifts when I was working for the Marine Corps. It was summertime, and that's just how it always worked out in the summer. We'd go in at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning sometimes, get off 12 hours later. And I would come home and I'd be exhausted. And I had a bowl of some rice, like jambalaya or something like that, that was in a bowl. And I was so tired. I didn't want to wash it. So I stuck it in the freezer so that, it wouldn't get bugs and stuff. It's Florida. You don't take that chance, right? So I stuck it in the freezer and I was like, I'll deal with this tomorrow. And then a couple days later, I went out on this date and I had forgotten it was in the freezer. And we had come back to my place because I had to grab some stuff for my mom to drop off at her place. And I said, I need to run by my place. Do you mind? And he was like, no. And so we were there and I was like, make yourself a drink if you want. And he'd gone in the freezer to get ice, found this bowl of rice. And he was like, what the heck? ACB con, they call it. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. It's not like the one they had a couple weeks ago where they were inviting people to. But anyway, so he found this frozen bowl of rice and he's like, what the heck? And I was like, yeah, I just didn't have time to wash it. And I didn't want to leave it out to get nasty and whatever. I should have just rinsed it out and washed it. And now I do. I don't put anything in the freezer like that. But at the time, like I said, I was working 12 hours and I just didn't have time. So that was held against me 10, 15, 20 years after we were married still. And I was like, dude, get over it. And then the other thing was at the time, I was always terrified about being broke. And so I would pay my utility bills like half at a time. So if something was $100, I would pay 50, knowing that, they'd be happy to get none. And then I would just pay whatever I had next time. And so he started paying the bills once we got together. And I shouldn't have let him do that either because he was terrible at that and it ruined us. But our bank account was always negative and stuff. So those were my 3 dark secrets that I should have never told him because those were definitely held against me throughout life, which is kind of sad. I think there's worse things in the world than being scared of being broke and not washing one dish. Okay, yeah, I remember that. I think that was right after I had just gone through there. I went through probably like their neighborhood. I was traveling to Oak Island area in North Carolina and was on, I think I was on 81 and it had told me to get in the right lane, which took me off the highway and I should have been in the left lane and stayed on. And so I ended up going through, whatever those 2 towns are in between there and stuff. And I got really, really lost. It was bad. I was like, it added 2 hours to my trip, which was already tiring. My ex-wife would never let anything go to bring up stuff all the time. I'm sorry. That stinks. Some people, they get things in their head, and I mean, I do sometimes. It's like when I get an idea and I really want to do something or something like that, it's like people call me like a bulldog with a bone. It's like I don't let go. Um, but it's more towards ideas and things that are going on. It's not holding on to stuff in the past. The only thing I ever held on to really bad like that was, um, long story, but our insurance had gotten canceled, and I had been in a car accident where a semi truck tire came flying up at my windshield. I was in Texas visiting a friend for a while. It was kind of a break from David right before we got divorced. And I had gone to Texas, was coming back. I was bringing my daughter back for Father's Day. And we're traveling. We're in our shit saw. And we had a semi truck tire fly up and nail us in the windshield. And my daughter was in the front seat with me. And I had two of my dogs in the back seat. And to find out when I called my insurance agent, because I'm sitting on the side of the road wondering, like, who in the world do I call that's going to be able to help me the most while I'm on the side of the road in 110-degree weather in Arkansas in the summer. And I called my insurance agent first, and she called, and the girl that answered the phone was like, no, she's not in the office. And I said, tell her Marianne's on the phone. Gave her my situation. She called me back in 10 minutes. She called me back 10 minutes later and said, hey, I hate to tell you this, but your insurance canceled last night at midnight. And I wasn't covered. Um, and David never understood um, why that really upset me, why I wouldn't let that go. And I was like, dude, you didn't pay our insurance after I reminded you 3 times and you told me you had. So, there's some things that need to be held on to. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get running. I've got to go get an errand done before 1 o'clock, and it's 12:30, so I need to hop off of here and go do that. Thank you for letting me share some story times with you. Al, it was good talking to you. Larry, it was great to see you again as well. And I'm not sure if you saw um, them gang up on me to have me sing on Discord, which was a ridiculous request of theirs, because I don't sing. I just don't. So, but Mark got that going. He was like, "Surely you can sing," and he kind of got everyone like ganging up on me, and I was like, "No, that's not happening." So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I will. Yeah, I was like, I will sing, and y'all will hate me. I promise you that. So, anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, and I'll try to come online a little more often, and um, hopefully get some interaction with you guys and some more, and just kind of get things going. Al, thanks for the gifts. I don't know what to do with them, but I thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. See ya. Hey, Renee.
Hey, Marianne, did you get my message? Because the turkeys are ready to go.
Yeah, I got pulled into a meeting for work, and I just got out of it, so I'm headed that way now.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'll see you in a few then.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Think about getting a circumcision for your penis right now at your age. Would you want to